So why test automation? Why we need test automation, right? So let's go back like 5-10 years. So at that time, test automation was not there. Even like it was there, very few companies were using it. So why? What was the need that right now these days test automation and performance testing are so much in demand, especially in Southeast Asia and Indonesia, right? So there are multiple reasons for that, but the primary reason is less time, okay, reducing testing efforts. So now let's say this is the sample I took from Credivo application, have around 100 test cases. This is like these cases are end-to-end tests. So one test can include multiple tests also, right? So we had around 100 test cases. Let's say right now in automation, you can see that these tests took 80 minutes, these tests took 95 minutes, and overall for 99 tests, it took 11 hour, right? So this is like a single test execution. This is not parallel test execution. So 11 hour it took on a automation suite to run a whole regression suite, right? But let's say in automation things happens very quickly. Even we take like let's say once in automation, if it takes 1 minute, a normal human will take 2 minutes to perform those actions. It means that for executing all those 100 test cases, it can take minimum of 22 hours. Why I'm saying minimum? Because when you do something manually, there are chances that you face some issues. There are chances that you will create wrong data and so on, right? And then there are chances you will be taking some breaks also, right? So 22 hours, it means if you take roughly, it would be around 3 days of work for a single QA engineer, right? So that thing can be done automatically via single nightly run. If we see that 3 days of work can be done via single nightly run in one night only, and if we make it parallel, like in this case, these can run, let's say we can run on 10 threads, it can run divided by 10 is equal to around 1 hour only. If we have 20 threads, it can run in 30 minutes only, right? So what I'm trying to say, the maximum impact of test automation can be seen in reducing testing efforts. So once you reduce the testing efforts, so the company can then release the software or product in a very fast pace. So like in these days, most of the companies are working on agile method. Agile is basically whatever you have done, you release that, right? So you do the daily deployments, right? So in this case, so you can't spend around 24 hours to do the regression testing. If you do, then you won't be able to release your software daily, right? So the maximum impact you can see that of test automation is on reducing testing effort, which accelerate, right? Let's go to the second point, skill development. So the first point was impact on the company side and saving resources, time, and saving the execution time. That was more on uh, company level or the organization level. That's benefits most of the organizations. Now the second part is basically what happens to the personal growth. So you will see a lot of skill development also when you try to learn automation or try to perform test automation, right? The first thing is, because test automation requires knowledge of at least one programming language. So it will, once you learn the programming language, it will not help you only in test automation, it will help you to develop tools. You can create your own custom tools, I mean, let's say you want to create a data generator tool, you can do that using programming language. You can write your custom scripts, you can obviously write test scripts. Helps you to improve logical thinking, because when you work in programming language, you write lot of logical statements, you write lot of logical code, you write lot of expressions, right? You perform lot of tasks via logical thinking. So it will be improving your logical thinking as well, in a way that, let's say before learning automation, you were doing something manually. It it you used to do in a certain way, but now you know that this is the logical case, or this is the logical term, or this is the logical thinking. So now you can perform those tests in a better way, because now you know that, okay, if this is a feature related to login, it can have this test cases. Because in automation, you also think what happens when A is not equal to B, A is equal to B, A not equal to B, and so on. So you learn about Boolean statement, you learn about logical statement, you learn about for loops, and so on. So it helps you to drastically improve your logical thinking, helps you to test in a better way using bulk data through data-driven test and load test. Now, what are data-driven test and load test? So let's say you're testing a login functionality. You're testing for a one particular username password, right? Let's say now you have to test for 100 user and 100 passwords. You have to test for 1,000 user and 1,000 passwords. You have to test for million user and million passwords. So let's say consider the million case. Would you able to do it manually every time? If you are able to do it, it would take like 1 month or 2 months also, right? So now once you know how test automation work and how to do data driven and load testing, then you know that, okay, now I can test it within minutes, right? So you are now testing your username password with variants or different kind of variants of username password, and you're not consuming or taking so much time. You are able to do it within a simulated time. So you can use any tools and programming language for that. We will discuss that later on. But now you are able to test in a better way. So now if something happens on production, because those data was not used by you during the testing, you will not face those issues in production, because now you have tested with million inputs. So now most probably the data present in the production will be the same. Helps you to test development code using programming based techniques. So now before you work on automation, you try to test your software test case techniques like exploratory testing or boundary value analysis, right? But then once you go into the programming and you learn programming, you understand branches, you understand statements. So now branches, I mean to say, like if else, there are two conditions, if else, right? So this is a branch. If this happens, run this code, else run this code. So now you know that for testing, if you see the code, development code, when you test it, you will know that I need to perform this flow, and then after the else flow. So you know that these are the tests I need to run. Similarly, statement coverage. You have to know the difference between different statements. When this statement becomes true, I need to perform this. When this statement become true, I need to perform this. Reduce the dependency as a tester from DevOps DevOps team. So I hope many of you will agree with me that once when you do not know the programming and CI/CD tools, you are dependent on development, right? You're dependent on when if something is stuck, you're dependent on them to unblock you. If build is not deployed, you're dependent on DevOps to deploy the build. If certain scripts or certain precondition is needed to run your test cases, you're dependent on a developer to run those scripts and then perform your task. But once you know the programming language, especially the one which is used by a developer team, then actually you can learn that how you are running those scripts at your end by asking the developer, and then you can actually do that stuff by yourself at staging or QA environment. Similarly, if you when you learn the Jenkins and CI/CD tools, you are not dependent directly on DevOps. You can say that I can handle the QA environment. If you tell me how this works and how I can perform these tasks, I will be doing those stuff, and I will be not dependent on you. You can take care of production. I will be taking care of QA environment, right? So obviously I learned this all from personal experience. I have worked with 7 companies till now. So so all this, so initially I started as a QA, then transformed into test automation, then I worked as a performance tester. So this is all from personal experience. So I can see the development throughout my career, all on those points. The third thing is again personal level, but not in terms of skill, as a career growth. Obviously, when you learn automation, you get more salary. Obviously, because this requires you to be a good in programming language. So this is kind of towards the development role more. So you get more salary, right? This is from Glassdoor. I took the Glassdoor average salary for QA and for SDET or automation engineer. Also, this is from personal experience also, like my salary while I was QA and my salary while I was SDET. You work with stable and accelerated companies. So what happens when a early stage company or startup launches? They generally don't spend much budget on automation or much resources on automation, because right now they're trying to create a MVP product or stabilized product. So mostly they either depend on unit testing or testing performed by QA engineers or normal QAs or human, right? So at that time, there's no automation. Once they introduce automation, then actually at that time, either they have received the Series B or Series C funding, and they have enough resources, and the product is also became stable now. So this is from Nasdaq team listing. When you see the initial initial teams on Nasdaq or any startup website, you would not notice much automation and SDET engineer. Mostly they will be a testing engineer or QA head, or sometime even testing is also not there. Also, I can tell you this from personal experience of Credivo also, because once Credivo became stable, only then they hired SDET and lead SDET and the automation team. Less competition. So in Indonesia, demand for good automation engineers is very high and supply is low. Why I'm telling you this? Because I'm looking for SDET and automation engineer in my team for more than 1 year now, and it's very difficult. Like we hardly find one or two people till now. So it's very difficult because most of the people are in QA right now, and they have very less knowledge of automation. And even if they have it, the programming knowledge is very less. And the final thing is the test automation fields keep on changing through new tech and updates. Obviously, when you work on automation, let's say right now it has a 2.0 version on some programming language. Next year they will release 3.0. Similarly, if you're working on some automation tools like Selenium, next year they may release the new version. So you don't become irrelevant with time, okay? Because in automation things keep changing, and you have to like change yourself based on that. So let's say right now you're using programming Java 8. Next year you may need to use Java 9. Next year you may need to use Java 10 and so on. So since it is a changing field, you don't stuck. So it's like a long lasting career rather than a career of 2 to 5 years, right? So the things does not become obsolete in this. Okay.